Oh man, we got our first. They're calling it a teaser. I feel like it's a trailer. It's a minute and 40 seconds long.
Yeah, it's a trailer
of the Naughty Dog. The Last of Us coming to HBO. And so we've had flashes before. We'd seen pictures before, but this is the first time. We still haven't heard Joel's voice. I mean, not in this one we didn't. We heard it in the other one.
Right.
But I was surprised that Joel didn't talk in this one. But yeah, The Last of Us trailer dropped for HBO Max. We got a lot of things in there, flying around, especially if you've played the game, if you know it as intimately as some of us do. What's some first impressions? Tim, you sent us the link last night, so you must have just seen it. What was your first impressions?
I'm liking the casting a lot more now. I think now that you see him in action, I really like the casting a lot more. The clicker sounded really cool. It's one thing to kind of hear it in your headphones on a video game, but when they mix it and boost it in for film, I think it sounds a little deeper, and I really dug it. So I'm really excited for this. I never saw Chernobyl, but I heard it was really good, and I think it won some awards for stuff. I know it's very dark,
right?
But I'm all in, man. This is going to be really exciting. I've already sent that trailer to some other friends that I got into The Last of Us, and they're like, "Holy cow, this is going to be awesome!" So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Chris, anything stick out to you?
I would say the thing that stuck out to me the most is I'm impressed with, at least of what we've seen so far, how faithful it seems so far to the game. I mean, I know that there's going to be timeline compression and there's going to be things that have to be altered just to speed up for pacing and plot points and to make it work for television. But it seems like the little bits we've seen, and then that full trailer or teaser, whatever it is they're calling it, that was only dedicated to that show rather than an HBO Max thing that that's sprinkled in. I feel like almost everything you've seen, you can recall that scene in the actual game. So that's been the most impressive thing to me. I totally am all for them getting Mando to play Joel, and I'm totally all for them getting Ron Swanson to play Bill, and most of the other casting that I've seen.
Yeah, man.
I'm still not sold on Homegirl as playing Ellie. I mean, I'm totally open to it, and I'm not saying she's a bad actress or any of that kind of stuff. It's just Ellie's one of those characters that, unfortunately for me, because I've played and loved the game, and I'm not expecting it to look and sound exactly the same, but it doesn't look and feel right every time I see her. She seems, I don't know, something seems off to me, but I'm totally open to once we actually see her go, because we've only gotten, I was going to say the other day, I was going to be I don't think we've heard her speak, but that's not true. If you go back to one of the HBO Max teasers, she does say the line about, I've lost people too, or whatever, so you actually have heard her. But clearly, I'm open to see more, because I'm hoping that she grabs me and hooks me in, and I totally fall for her like I did in the game. But as of right now, that's my one thing. I'm just not feeling the Ellie casting right now.
She's a great actress, though. I will say she was good in Game of Thrones, and she's been in a couple other things that I've seen. I believe she's British too, which I think.
As an aside.
As an aside.
Ed, what did you think?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've been excited about the show from the get go, and I saw and seeing the trailer was just kind of all right, let's I was happy to see it. What I found most interesting was just seeing people going online, just this is amazing. And I remember them when they first announced they were doing it. This is going to be horrible. How can they do this? And I'm like,
that's the internet.
You've changed your tone a little bit, haven't you? There. All right, cool. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I thought it was. I was super excited to see it. I'm a little bit with Chris on the Ellie casting. I'm trying to not focus on it, even though she's a ginormous part of the story and the show. But I think that I'm hoping that it will. My whatever is twinging my brain will just kind of fade into the background. Yeah. I remember the first time watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I remember telling somebody, and then he said blah 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 blah, without and I put acting on it. Well, when I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it was subtitled. Like there was, he didn't say any. I read it, and so as those subtitles kind of faded into the back, and I was able to just enjoy the movie as a whole. I'm hoping like whatever that thing is, because I'm not sure what I can't put my finger on it. Like I know I had said things before about just the voice differences between an actually young person and Ashley Johnson. And that feeling of like she feels real young, and you know her voice was real high to me. But you got to remember, like I come from a whole family of deep voice people, and so even my daughter, like people make fun of Amara because of how deep her voice is, and so. But I loved the flashes. It feels like it's done with care. It feels like it's done from a place of loving the story and loving these characters,
honoring
which
the game.
was awesome. Yeah, just little things. I love that you can tell that Neil. Well, I don't know, because I don't know if he was involved in this trailer. But whoever did this trailer knew the video game.
They captured the tone really nicely.
Yeah,
they capture the tone nice, but I'm just saying like little things like showing Joel's watch, where that wouldn't be important in almost any other movie. That that watch is important. So it's like whoever put this together knew the bullet points of what the gamers will be looking for.
That's right.
Because to a regular viewer that has no idea anything about this story, why is his watch important? You know what I mean? So I love that there's the fan service from that standpoint.
Yeah.
The one thing that would be really interesting is, and I don't remember what happens to him, so this is not spoiling anything. And obviously we haven't seen the show. But do you guys know of like the relationship between oh dang it, what's the guy's name?
Willy Wonka.
The Walking, no, you know The Walking Dead. You've got Daryl, and then you've got the main character from
Rick.
the first couple seasons, Rick. Right?
Rick. Yeah.
Well, apparently, Daryl. Yeah, Carl.
Yeah, don't forget Carl.
Yeah, Daryl in the comics. If I'm,
Daryl wasn't in the comics.
Yeah, wasn't in it, or had died really
something?
early or something like that. But we attached to his character so much that it was like Daryl dies and we riot kind of thing. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with Nick Offerman's character of Bill. I don't remember what happens to Bill in the game. I don't know what's going to happen to him in the show. But we, as a country, love us some Nick Offerman. And so
absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see if they stretch that part out a little bit longer to be able to dig in with Bill a little bit. And I do think there's some societal points about Bill that that people will draw to as well. But I think it's going to be really interesting. I love that Nick Offerman's in this.
Yeah.
I love that he's able to, one of the things that I love about Star Wars is when I watch Star Wars, I don't barely know any of those characters from before. Obviously, I was a kid, but like by time I had watched them, it's not like Luke was some big actor, already to me. And so I think it's cool that they're able to take kind of a mix of both of characters that we know, like Nick Offerman, like Mando, and put them in this world and us get lost in it. Because I think that that's a tough thing to do when you already know somebody from something else.
Yeah. And I like that we're in a time now where we don't always know, or like if you've got a big name, like when Game of Thrones came out, I can't remember his name, but the guy that was from the Lord of the Rings movies was in it, and we all thought he was like one of the main staple characters, and we were all shocked when he wasn't. It's like they got this big name, and it's like, so I kind of like that. We may not know, or they may verge away from the source material, or
absolutely.
Chris,
were you about to say something?
Well, and it's not surprising that we don't know this information yet, but I'm also, I want to know, like, is the whole first game just played out in this season? Yeah. Like, are they milking it? Because there's like 10. They've said that there's going to be 10 episodes. So in theory, to me, that's plenty to get through the entire first game, especially if they're about an hour an episode. But I don't know
It'll be
how
longer than the game. That's what's funny.
Yeah, I don't know how
Usually
I feel.
you have it the other way around.
I don't know how I would feel if it's like we get to 10 and they haven't even made it to winter or something, which I know that they will because you've seen footage of that. But I'm just saying, like, if we only got like halfway through or something, I would be like, I don't really want to drag this out unnecessarily, even if I'm enjoying it. Like, I want it to feel, I don't know. I'm curious how that's going to go.
Yeah, because I think they have an interesting conundrum, because I've always seen video games compressed into movies, right?
Yeah.
Well, now let's say you have 10 hours. You know, these games, I don't remember actually the playtime of this one, but I would guess like it was something around 15. Yeah, 12 to 15, right? And so now you have a show that almost can be the exact same amount of time as the video game. And that's with exploration, 12 to 15. Right. You know what I mean? That's not just the story beat.
That's right.
So
and
how long to beat says average players just to beat the main story is 15 to 16 hours.
Okay.
There you go.
And that's with probably dying. That's with collective stuff. That's with crafting. That you don't need any of that in the TV show. And so it'll be interesting to see, because it seems like they have the time to now spend on the story. We got to hear the clickers. They sound exactly like I remember them sounding. It feels like they're pulled exactly from the game. We think we see Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies, which is very interesting to see how they're going to play that relationship. Like we said, we've probably seen Sarah now a couple of times, who is Joel's daughter in this show. We get to see Riley, which, you know what's funny? I was looking back through this stuff. I never played Left Behind. I never played that DLC. Yeah, and so as much as I love the Last of Us world, I never played that DLC. So
yeah, see, that's another thing, again, with just that glimpse that we got, which, again, I understand because the way they have to compress it, they're probably not going to recast for a young one, but that was one of the things in Left Behind. It's like a couple years before, they just felt, her and Riley felt a lot younger. And when they showed that scene where you see her and then you see Riley, I was like,
it's now.
I was like, man, Riley look old. I mean, like,
for what age they were supposed to be, right?
Exactly. But again, that's in the game world. I understand the compression on this one, so I feel like it'll probably still work. But again, it's one of those things. Just like, I really hope this. I can't. I don't. My brain doesn't get hooked on this stuff.
Riley and Ellie supposed to be in Left Behind.
I don't remember their exact.
I didn't think it was that many. I thought it was maybe like a year or two before.
Yeah, it is. But what I'm saying is, the actress playing Ellie already looks older than what I feel like Ellie should be. So then you go into something where they're supposed to be even younger, even if it's only a couple of years. Because when you're a kid, a couple of years can make a big difference, you know, in the way you look and act. So
she's 14 in Left Behind.
In Left Behind.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm with you. 14 to 18. 14 to 16, you can definitely. Some people look wildly different. Some people don't look that different. Right. You know what I'm saying? Things happen.
For me, I just want this series to get new people excited and interested in the game. To be honest, like I want it to flip. Like, we know it from the video game. Now I'm excited to see it on as a series. But I also want the other way around, where people who probably not played video games be like, you want an amazing story and you want to play a video game that tells an amazing story, play this game. Because what you're seeing here is exactly what you'll probably feel in the game as well. You'll get the same response.
What's interesting to me, though, with that is, going back to what I was just saying, I wonder what you might gain from playing the game if this show is able to cover the whole gamut. You know what I mean?
I don't mind if it doesn't either, and I know it's not going to be probably
not going to be one-to-one, but
I don't think it's going to be one-to-one at all. And honestly, if they don't go through it all and end it on a certain note, that's great. That might bring more excitement. Be like, oh man, I hope that might get them to season 2, and like, especially if the viewings are doing really well. So. I'm not mad either way. I'm just really excited to see what are they going to do? How are they going to expand? Are they going to take one chunk and really stretch it out? And I'm all for it. Doesn't matter to me.
I think the thing that's going to be the most at-home feeling is probably going to be the clickers. Like you see a clicker towards the end, and to me, when you freeze frame it, it looks like a CGI clicker. You know what I'm saying? It looks exactly like the video game clicker. And so I think it'll be really great. I hope they make it, and this is coming from me, but I hope it does. I hope the clickers are a little scary.
Oh, they will be.
You know what I mean? Like
I mean, do you feel like they weren't even from that trailer?
I've gotten used to them. And I'm the scaredy cat.
True.
And so I just hope that for people watching for first times, that those clickers are freaking scary. Because I know that early on, when I started playing The Last of Us, I remember sitting down, playing the game, being super excited, and going, "Oh no, this might be real scary."
I mean, there's such a different take. I mean, not such a different take, but they're a different enough take on, you know, the zombie kind of genre, if you will.
Yeah.
That I've always found them to be more terrifying than your typical zombie. And I know we had like the 28 days fast running zombies, but like the fact that they look the way that they look and how they got there, and then how they're slow but also fast, and they're a threat in multiple ways.
And they're lethal.
I think they're going to come off as. My only fear is that they won't be in the show much, just because, you know, it's going to take a lot to do them. Which I know they need to. I know HBO's got prowess with making CGI, you know, characters being prevalent in shows and stuff. But I'm just saying, if they're totally CGI, like when you see that one clip in the video when there's one like on the other side of the wall and Joel's like, you know, whispering like kind of with his finger up to his lips saying, you know, to be quiet. That could be a real actor. I think it'll only be the really in-your-face moments and with all the stuff all over there, all the cordyceps growing out of their head, those will probably be the only CGI moments. They could have a practical clicker, and I feel like that'll help them be in the show much more. And plus, just the people that are slightly infected and kind of all jacked up but haven't quite gone to Mushroom Headville. I think those we can have a lot of those in there too. That also add some variance.
It's my favorite Jimmy Buffett song, by the way.
Mushroom wasting away in Mushroom Headville.
I am glad that the runners, we didn't see any bloaters or anything like that, which I hope do make the show. But I wonder if they're going to feel a little bit more far fetched. You know, having a zombie explode than the runners. But I'm just glad they move different than the Walking Dead zombies.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so hopefully this doesn't feel like rinse repeat, except late, to people when they're like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Mushroom Headville.